Alright, what's going on, everybody? We are live for the Ravens and Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Game started a couple minutes ago. I'm on a little bit late. I was set to get on time, but then I got to wait for a second, so sorry about that. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Ravens with the ball first here. They're about 3 minutes in, and they've got a 3rd and 3 from the Steelers' 38. And they're going to hand it off here on 3rd down, and he will not get there. Stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And brings up 4th down here for the Ravens. But welcome to the stream, everybody. We've got the Ravens and Steelers. Winner goes to the playoffs. Loser is done for the season. The Ravens will go for here on 4th down. Lamar in shotgun back to his right. From the 38, Steelers bring a blitz. Jackson has time. Floats one downfield. Wide open receiver. Caught. Touchdown Ravens. Walker with the touchdown. Ravens on the board first. As they convert on 4th down, have a long touchdown. It's Devontae Walker, and the Ravens strike first. 8 plays, 85 yards, 4:06 off the clock. And they take the early lead. What a play right there. He was wide open over the middle of the field. And a great job up front to pick up the blitz. But a nice play right there. Yeah, it really did look easy. He was wide open downfield. And here is Loop to add the extra point, and it's right down the middle. So 7-0 Ravens in the battle for the AFC North. But they go right down the field on the first drive of the game. Let me pull up the box score for the game. Give me a second to do that. But it was a great drive right there. 8 plays, 85 yards, 4:06 off the clock. A 38-yard touchdown for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson with the touchdown pass. That is his 19th touchdown of the season. He missed a lot of times. That's why that total seems pretty low for him. But Jackson threw for 50 yards. They also ran for 50. And a good drive. Hey, how's it going? You want the Steelers to win but can't see it. I mean, I'd prefer to see the Ravens win because, I mean, the Steelers, they're just so boring. Because, and I mean, we all know what they're going to do in the playoffs for. I mean, at least the Ravens, I feel like they have the talent to make a deep run. Obviously, we'll have to see if they will, but I would rather see the Ravens win, get into the playoffs. I think they'd give us a much better playoff game as well. Or, yeah, they give a much better playoff game, but I did take the, I took the Ravens. What score did I say? Let's see. But the winner of this game will face the... Who do they play? The Texans. I took the Ravens 23-17. Ravens are chokers. We all know Lamar gets down. Yeah, I mean, he's not great in the playoffs. And I mean, this is pretty much a playoff game right here. But I mean, even though Lamar Jackson hasn't played very well in the playoffs, I still think the Ravens have a much better chance to make a deep run in the playoffs than the Steelers do. And I just think they're the better team right here, so that is why I took them to get the win. To Pittsburgh 27-16. Okay. Rodgers' generational game. Yeah, I mean, he can always have one. You never know. He's just been pretty up and down so far this year, but I mean, he's had his moments. The kick is away here. The Steelers will get the ball for their first possession. And from the 6, here is the return. And Jaylen Warren, a nice return, makes a guy miss and gets to the 37-yard line. A good return right there. And pretty solid starting field position for the Steelers. In Pittsburgh, too. Yeah, I mean, the Steelers are at home. They've already beaten the Ravens in Baltimore. So very possible they end up with the win. I mean, I just trust the Ravens a little bit more. I don't trust them to hold a lead, but I just trust them as a more better overall team. Especially after the Steelers lost last week to the Browns. That is why I took them. Not too confident with the pick, but I took them. I also don't really think one of these teams so much better than the other that they're going to really sweep them. So, obviously, in this case, the Steelers having already won the first matchup. Rodgers set up the screen here. Well, how do you fit that in there? But he fits it in there to Jaylen Warren for gain of 2. But a flag is down. We got a face mask here. Yeah, that is a face mask. I didn't even see that watching it live. But a first down for the Steelers, 15 yards. As they get call for the face mask. So it's an automatic first down. That's true. It can go either way. Both teams are C+. Yeah, but, exactly. Neither team really that great. So a little over 10 minutes to go here in the first quarter. 7-0 Ravens. And after the penalty, ball now on the Raven 46. Here's a swing pass for Warren. He's got no blockers on the outside. He's taken down for a loss of 2. Brings up 2nd and 12. So 2nd down here for the Ravens. Sorry, for the Steelers. Rodgers in shotgun, Gainwell to his right. Rodgers going to look to throw. Rodgers pocket collapsing, and he just threw it away. So he now brings up 3rd and long. It's 3rd and 11 here for the Steelers, with 9:38 to go in the first half. Rodgers on the season, averaging a career-low 202 passing yards per game. He's also thrown 23 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Not a great year for Rodgers, especially when you consider what he did a few years ago, but obviously not that player anymore, but still a decent year. 3rd and 11 here for the Steelers. Empty backfield for Rodgers. From the Raven 47. Somebody just jumped off sides, but he got back, and nobody moved. So Rodgers to throw on 3rd and long. Rodgers has time. Gonna let one go deep down the field, and it is almost intercepted, but it's broken up by Nate Wiggins, and it's incomplete. Looking for Calvin Austin deep down the field. It brings up 4th down. And the Steelers going to be forced to punt. Nate Wiggins a little slow to get up after that one. But it brings up 4th and 11. The Steelers will punt. And really the only thing that was positive for them on that drive was getting the face mask called. Because otherwise they did not do anything. So Waitman on to punt it away with Jonte Wester, the rookie from Colorado, back deep to receive. Averaging 12.4 yards per return, which is pretty good. So Waitman sends it away cleanly, and Wester signals fair catch at the 14-yard line. So the Ravens backed up pretty deep inside their own territory for their second drive. 9:25 to go in the first half, a 7-point Ravens lead. The Falcons fired Raheem Morris? Oh, wow. Interesting. I was not expecting that. They won a couple games at the end of the year. They won today. I thought they were going to give him another year. Now, I don't think they should have given him another year. And I mean, it's clear they're not. Obviously, they fired him. But that's interesting. But I do think that's the right move. That's kind of surprising. The Falcons go 8-9 in both years. They won their last 4 games, which is one of the reasons I thought they were going to keep him, but I do think it's a good move to move on. That was double coverage. Come on, Rodgers. Yeah, that was not a great decision to throw that. Coaches don't last long these days. Yeah, they really don't. You get a couple bad years, or disappointing years, and you're out. Like, look at Raheem Morris right here. But I definitely think we're going to see some coaches get fired tomorrow. I think it's very possible the loser of this game gets fired. Because there's obviously been rumors about their job. Both John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. Mike McDaniel probably stays for the Dolphins. Kevin Stefanski's probably going to get fired from the Browns. Titans already fired their coach. The Colts have announced they're bringing back Shane Steichen, which I think that's a good move. Pete Carroll's one I think could get fired. Just things went so badly this year for the Raiders. I wouldn't be shocked if they do that. I think Todd Bowles could get fired if the Buccaneers opt to do that. And I heard today, I think Jonathan Gannon's safe in Arizona, though. I think it might be best for them to move on right there with the whole Kyler Murray thing and just the team not being very good. And then you can get a new quarterback, new coach, everything like that as the whole all of that in one offseason. Here's a toss to Derrick Henry to the left side. Move on to who? That's true. I mean, a lot of these coaches, or a lot of these teams, they have to find coaches who they want to hire. So that's always the one thing. If you have a guy that you kind of like, and you don't really like the guy you have, you could always make the move. But I mean, I guess you could see somebody keep their coach even if they're not a huge fan of him, if they don't like any of the candidates. There's a handoff, Henry up the middle, and Henry, nice run, about 8 yards here to the 23-yard line. Derrick Henry, just shy of 300 carries, 292 carries for 1,523 yards, and he's got 16 rushing touchdowns. A 3rd and short. Jackson in shotgun. Henry to his left. Jackson gonna hand it off here. Henry up the middle has a first down. A gain of 3. And they move the sticks. So they move the chains there on 3rd and short. So first down here from the 26. Jackson in the pistol. Off play action. Going to look to throw here. Jackson is going to throw over the middle. Oh, is that? Oh, wow. That was almost a great catch by Zay Flowers, but it's incomplete. But a one-handed attempt at it, and it's 2nd and 10. What do you think about MLF? What is MLF? I'm trying to think what that could be. I'm not sure. So 2nd and 10 from their own 26. Jackson in shotgun back to his left. Gonna look to throw again. Jackson floats one down the sideline. Open receiver is incomplete. Wow, that was a good throw. Trying to hit the running back Mitchell out of the backfield. Just couldn't quite make the adjustment, make the play. And it's another incompletion. We got a flag down here with 7:14 to go in the first quarter. We are roughing the passer here against the Steelers. That'll be 15, an automatic first down for the Ravens. Yeah, they call it because he went low in Lamar Jackson. Although he tripped, so I don't love the call, but it is the rule, so I understand it. So 1st and 10 after the penalty, now on their 41. And here's a handoff to Derrick Henry to the left side, who picks up about 3, getting to the 44-yard line. We got 7 minutes to go in the first quarter, a 7-point Ravens lead. Derrick Henry's already run it 7 times for 60 yards. He had an insane game last week as well, with 36 carries, which is the most I think I've ever seen for a running back. And he ran for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. Here he slips after getting just a yard, and brings up about 3rd and 6 for the Ravens. Ravens just outplaying the Steelers so far. This game is do or die. You think the Steelers would be hitting hard. Yeah, I mean, the Steelers haven't looked great. Struggling to stop the run, which is something they've struggled to do at times this year. And the offense did not do much with their one possession. Jackson to throw here on 3rd down. Gets pressured. Is going to try to escape, but he's dropped for a sack. At the 31-yard line, Jackson goes down. And the Steelers is going to force a punt. Yeah, you motivated them. There you go. There's the sack for the Steelers. Nick Herbig got pressure. And the Steelers defense gets a stop and they'll force a punt. Calvin Austin back deep to receive. 6.9 yards per punt return this season. The kick is away, and Austin from his own 16 on the return, trying to get to the outside, and not be able to turn the corner. He's dragged down at the 25. So we got 4:59 to go in the first quarter. Ravens up by 7. And the Steelers will get the ball for their second possession. Not great on their first drive. They only moved the ball because of a penalty, but otherwise I'm pretty sure they went backwards. The Steelers' opening drive ended up being 4 plays, 16 yards, but they got a 15-yard penalty to help them out. Oh, the Falcons are also firing their GM. Interesting. He's out after 5 years. Raheem Morris is out after 2 years. That's some big changes for the Falcons. Very interesting. I mean, I do think that's very smart. I mean, I don't really know about the GM because I don't really know the Falcons team that well. Although, I mean, I feel like they've actually got a decent team. Just haven't really played that well. But the Falcons fire their GM as well. And they will Now they're looking for new GM and head coach. And they're also in a tough spot now, because if you bring in a GM and a head coach that doesn't really love Penix or somebody like that, and they want to get a new quarterback, then you got to try to get rid of him. Although he's still in a rookie contract, so fairly cheap. But that can create a whole different problem for the Falcons if that ends up happening. Because, I mean, I was a big Michael Penix fan coming out of the draft, and even at the start of this year, but yeah, I mean, he didn't really play that well after week 1. He just did not look great, and then obviously tore his ACL, which is another concern with him with all those long season-ending injuries he's had in the past. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what direction the Falcons go. But I mean, they definitely got some talent. Like, I don't think they need to go into like a complete rebuild. They've kind of been rebuilding, and now they need somebody to lead them into the playoffs. And Raheem Morris was supposed to be that guy, but apparently was not. But they're a team. They've got playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. They got some good pieces on defense. Got to figure out quarterback and just improve overall. But the Steelers start this drive here from their own 25, and they'll hand it off to Kenneth Gainwell up the middle for a gain of about 2, not a whole ton of space. So Rodgers to throw on second down. There's a throw to the outside for Kenneth Gainwell. A gain of about 3 on the play. And just like that, it's a quick third down here for the Steelers. So 3rd and 5, 4:15 to go in the first quarter. An empty backfield here for Aaron Rodgers. 3rd and 6. Technically it's marked 3rd and 5, but it's really a 3rd and 6 here. Now Gainwell motions into the backfield, standing to the left of Rodgers. A look to throw, and Rodgers will check it down to Gainwell, who makes the catch in the flat, and Gainwell going to pick up a first down. Nice play after the catch right there, makes the guy miss, and he moves the sticks on 3rd down. Look at Rodgers on the line. Man, he's old school. Yeah, he really is. Rodgers throwing quickly here to the outside. That's caught for getting about 6. There's Marquez Valdes-Scantling with the catch. And a solid pickup there on 1st down. Rodgers 5 of 7 for 16 yards. Look to throw here. And, Rodgers going to hand it off here, is what I was trying to say. And Gainwell again, this time just a yard. Brings up 3rd down. So an empty backfield for Aaron Rodgers. Steelers averaging 2.1 yards per play. They've got another 3rd down. This is 3rd and 3. They just picked one up. And Rodgers is going to throw here on 3rd down. Quick throw at the outside. Call it Gainwell again. But this time he's short of the 1st down. Simpson makes the stop. And it'll be 4th and about a yard here for the Steelers. I just thought of this. This could also be the final game for Aaron Rodgers, because he said he's going to retire after the year. Like, he hasn't officially, confirmed that, but he said he probably plans on it being his last year. Steelers going to sneak a hero. Oh, I don't think he got that. I think Hayward comes up short on the sneak. Yeah, it's Raven football. He did not get there. They try to sneak on 4th down from their own 45, and the gamble does not pay off, and the Ravens have it with great starting field position. Really don't see Mike Tomlin get aggressive very often. But he gets aggressive right there. They put Connor Hayward as the quarterback, and they actually bring Cam Hayward, the defensive lineman, on the field to push him forward, his brother, but it does not work. And they turn it over on downs. Good stop there for the Ravens. But, yeah, going back to what I was saying real quick, Rodgers, this could be his final game if the Steelers end up missing the playoffs. I mean, there's always a chance he decides otherwise and comes back for another year, whether that's with the Steelers or somebody else, but definitely a decent chance it's his final game. Here's a handoff to Derrick Henry to the left side, and he'll pick up about 3. That's already his 10th carry here in the first quarter. But he also ran the ball that was his 9th carry. But he ran the ball 36 times last week in the win over over the Packers. I was just about to say win over the Ravens, which would not make much sense considering he plays for the Ravens. So Jackson under center. Here's the 10th carry of the first quarter for Henry. Turns the corner, cuts inside. Henry inside the 30, down to the 27. A nice run for Henry and a first down for the Ravens. I kind of thought he would do one more year, that is. Yeah, I mean, he said at the start of the year, I'm pretty sure, at least if I remember correctly, that he planned on this being his final year, but wouldn't completely commit to it. That no matter what happened, he's not playing one more. But yeah, I could see him playing another year. He hasn't been terrible. He also hasn't been the MVP we've seen in the past. But I mean, that's just gonna happen as somebody gets older. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised more people aren't talking about that. That this could be his final game. 20 seconds left in the first quarter. They'll go to the ground here with Keaton Mitchell to the right side. And Mitchell gains 4 to the 23. And that will most likely take us to the second quarter. So we do reach the end of the first quarter. It is a 7-0 Ravens lead. And they've got the football deep inside Steeler territory. But 7-0 going to the second quarter. And a pretty good start for the Ravens. The offense looks pretty good, moving the football. And the defense off to a good start as well. Ravens right now outgaining the Steelers 125-21. They're at 6.9 yards per play. Steelers at 1.9. Alright, let's see. I looked it up here with Rodgers retiring. Obviously, his contract expires at the end of this year. So, I mean, there's also no guarantee somebody even wants him for next year. Alright, hold on. Let's see. This article doesn't really say anything. So, essentially, he said he's going to think about his future. Like he's done every year for the last, 5 years. So, nothing really too new from Rodgers, but, I mean, it is possible that it is his final game. So if the money is right. I guess so. I mean, no team's going to come out and pay Rodgers $40 million at this point in his career. But yeah, probably if the money's right, if it's a fit and a team he wants to play for, Stuff like that. Just realized there's blood on my finger. But a first down here for the Ravens from the 24-yard line. A handoff to Derrick Henry up the middle to start the second quarter. And he'll pick up 2. Getting it to the 22. So 3rd and about 4 here for the Ravens. Up by 7 early in the second quarter. Derrick Henry's run it 11 times for 80 yards already. I mean, 80 yards in the first quarter in like 30 seconds is insane. Jackson to throw here. Pressured, rolling to his right on the run. Lamar going to try to turn the corner, and he's unable to get back to the line of scrimmage. Knocked out of bounds by the rookie Derek Harmon for about a loss of a yard. And it brings up 4th down. But a nice job right there. And they'll bring on the field goal team for the rookie Tyro Loop. 29 of 32 on the season. That's 91%. A long of 52. This one from 40 to make it a 10-point game. And the field goal for Loop is up, and it is drifting, and it is good. Got it in there, and it's now 10-0. So the Ravens, I'm going to highlight that first. The Ravens go up by 10 early in the second quarter. 13:33 to go in the first half. And another pretty good drive for the Ravens. Move the ball pretty effectively and get some points. So another good drive. That drive for the Ravens, they go really not as good as I'm thinking. They go 6 plays, 23 yards, but I mean they still move the ball fairly effectively, get into field goal range. Oh, that's right, because they started with the good field position on that drive after the turnover on downs. But they still move the ball pretty well. They're still averaging 6.3 yards a play on the day, and now they're up 10 pretty early into the second quarter. But Derrick Henry already 11 carries for 81 yards, which is actually insane. Last week he ran it 36 times for 216 yards and 4 touchdowns, which has to be a career high in carries. I mean, how often are you seeing a running back at 36 carries? I mean, I'm gonna go through and look, but I'd imagine that was a career high for Derrick Henry last week. Let's see. And back to the 2022 season. And the most seen so far is 32. He had 35 against the Seahawks in week 2 of the 2021 season. Wonder what the NFL record is for most in a game. I mean, I would imagine that like 36 is close to the record. Although I guess when teams only ran the ball, like before the forward pass was popular, I guess teams could have run the ball like 1,000 times a game, and just given it to the same guy over and over and over. So I guess there's a possibility of that. Yeah, 36 carries is a career high for Derrick Henry last week. So the NFL record for most carries in a single game was set December 17th, 1988, when Jamie Morris had 45 carries for the Washington Redskins, obviously now known as the Commanders. And 45 carries is absurd. He ran it 45 times. for 152 yards. That is extremely inefficient. That's 3.4 yards a carry. Oh, sorry. Got sidetracked looking at that. We missed the kickoff here. We got a hold on the kickoff. But the Steelers with the ball back here. Down by 10. Obviously, winner makes the playoffs as the 4 seed. They'll host the Texans next week. But the Steelers start at their own 25-yard line. Rodgers under center. Warren is the back. They motion Connor Hayward into the backfield as the fullback. And Rodgers hands off. Warren up the middle. And he'll pick up 2, maybe 3 yards. It brings up second down. So far, results in the poll, 67% of you guys said the Steelers will win, 33% have said the Ravens. So be sure to vote if you have not already done so. So second down and 8 here. Rodgers in shotgun. Rodgers under center. Warren the back once again. Bring a receiver in motion. And they run the ball again, this time towards the left side. And again, not much. They called that back. Wow. I'll take your word for it. I didn't see the kickoff. I was still in a different tab before I switched back. So it's 3rd and 7. A quick third down here for the Steelers. After back-to-back run plays didn't really do much. So Pat Freiermuth motions across the formation. Rodgers gonna look to throw here on 3rd and 7. Rodgers throws underneath, caught by Gainwell. And Gainwell gonna pick up about 10 and a first down. Falcons now officially announced that Raheem Morris and their GM have officially been fired, or as they call it, have been dismissed from their roles. I'm sure we'll see a couple more teams do that tomorrow. I don't know why they couldn't just wait till tomorrow. But a first down here for the Steelers. Rodgers can look to throw. Rodgers checks down. Warren in the flat makes the guy miss, and Jaylen Warren breaks another tackle, still on his feet. And Jaylen Warren, again, about 17, 18 yards inside Raven territory to the 42-yard line. A really nice catch and run, and a first down. At this rate, Rodgers might throw to the running backs about 50 times this game, but if they're to run like that after the catch, I'm pretty sure they'll take that. The Steelers, 66% of their passing yards come after the catch, which is the highest percentage in the NFL. And obviously a nice catch and run for Jaylen Warren on that previous play. Got 17 yards down to the Raven 43. Play action here. Rodgers can look to throw. Rodgers sets his feet, and he goes deep downfield. Open receiver, and he missed him. Jonnu Smith was wide open, but Rodgers throws too high, and it's 2nd and 10. Well, that's a bad miss for Rodgers. Man, Jonnu Smith was wide open, and Rodgers just sails it over his head. Oh man, that's a bad miss. I mean, Rodgers, he did something weird on that throw. He kind of like started to throw and then he stopped and like never reset himself. So I'm not really sure if that impacted something. Probably. But miss. It brings up third down. And third down play is a drag route underneath for, I don't know who that is. Maybe it's Scotty Miller, I think that is. But he picks up about 4. Rodgers 9 for 12 for 51 yards. Calvin Austin, the only active Steeler receiver with more than 28 catches with the team, or more than 10 catches with the team. He's got 28. So 3rd and 6. Rodgers to throw. Rodgers rolling to his right. And on the run, Rodgers is... Oh, looks like he was going to try to run forward. Then he put on the brakes. And then he gets thrown out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. I don't think he wanted to run forward, but I think he could have gotten there if he had just committed sooner. So Rodgers ends up getting knocked out of bounds at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was. I think he didn't want to run for it, even though I think he can get there. I know it's pretty slow, but I think he would have been able to get there. It would have definitely been close. But it's now 4th down, and it's a 57-yard field goal for Chris Boswell. And his kick on the way, and it is good. Boswell hits from 57 to get the Steelers on the board. And it's now 10-3 with 8:52 to go in the first half. Would have gotten the first. Yeah, I thought he would have gotten there too. Maybe not because it was like 42 or whatever. But I thought he would pick that up. Arrow doesn't have the legs. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's not necessarily a mobile quarterback, but I still think he could have gotten there if he had just like fully committed to running for the first down. But he didn't want to do that. He wanted to throw the ball, and there was nobody there. So he misses the throw and stops mid-play. Wow, Rodgers, wake up, bro. Playoffs. Yeah, I mean, that was not a great few-play sequence right there for Aaron Rodgers. Between sailing it on the receiver and then just kind of accepting that he wasn't going to get the first down, even though he could have. Not a great 3-play sequence. But it ends up being an 8-play, 36-yard drive for the Steelers. They take 4:41 off the clock. And they get their first points with a long field goal. But it was a 57-yard field goal for Chris Boswell to get their first 3 points. Boswell is 1 on the year is 60. And that was his 9th make of over 50 yards. Last year he made 13 from 50 plus. But Boswell on the year is now 26 of 31. He's consistently one of the best kickers in the NFL. But the Ravens will get the ball back here. We wait for them to come back from commercial. Now a 1-score game after the field goal, but the Ravens still up by 7. And they've moved the ball pretty effectively so far. So we'll see what the Ravens can do for their next possession. So far, results in the poll, 70% of you guys said the Steelers will win, 30% have said the Ravens. Be sure to vote if you've not already done so. The kick goes into the end zone for a touchback and will be brought out to the 35. And also, if you guys have not liked the stream, be sure to do that. We've only got 3 likes in the stream, so if you guys can smash that like button, that'd be much appreciated. But the Ravens offense back on the field here at their own 35 after the touchback. 8:52 to go in the first half. Jackson under center and go I formation. Henry is the back, and Jackson fakes it to him, looks to throw. Jackson going to step up and try to run here, and make one guy miss, and will dive ahead for a gain of about 3. Flag is down. And we've also got an injured lineman down on the field for the Ravens. Hopefully he's okay. We got a hold here against the Ravens. That'll back them up 10. Saw your college streams. You had around 100 viewers. Good stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, those streams did really well. So, definitely very happy about that. But Daniel Fuele, the right guard for the Ravens, the injured player, he's played every single offensive snap for them this season. But that's sure going to come to an end here as he is limp his way off the field. Hopefully he's okay. So Emory Jones Jr., a third-round pick of this past year's draft, will appear in his 5th game this season, and he'll come in at right guard. Rookie to LSU. So 1st and 20. Jackson in the pistol, Henry behind him, from the 25. And he hands off to Henry to the right side. Gain about 3 on the play. So 8 minutes to go in the first half. 2nd and 17 here for the Ravens. So Jackson in shotgun back to his left. Jackson can look to throw. And they try to set up the screen. The Steelers know what's coming. So Jackson just going to try to scramble here. And he's going to go down for a loss of 3 on the play. Back at the 25-yard line. But a well-played play right there for the Steelers defense. They sack Lamar Jackson for the 3rd time as they blow up the screen. They prevent him from throwing it. And it is now 3rd and 20 here for the Ravens. So 3rd and 20. 7 minutes to go in the first half. They'll just hand it off here up the middle with Derrick Henry. And he'll gain 6 before he's chopped down. So it brings up 4th and long. The Ravens will punt it away. And the Steelers defense gets a stop. So the Steelers will get it back. The offense gets points. The defense gets a stop. And let's see if the offense can continue to build on that. So the Ravens punt. Austin will field it from the 16. And on the return, will dance around a little bit and get back to the 17. So 1 yard on the return. But the Steelers get it back. 6:10 to go. as they're down 10-3. So they get it back after the Ravens punt for the second time. They go 3 and out on this drive. Ravens right now alternating scoring drives and punts. The first drive was touchdown, next drive punt, then a field goal, and then a 3 and out. But the Steelers, a field goal on their last drive. We'll see if they can build on that and put some more points on the board. The Steelers, they've not scored a touchdown since the game that they won against the Lions, 29-24. Their last touchdown came with 6:41 to go in that game. They scored just 6 points last week, 2 field goals. Did not find the end zone. So they've gone a full game, now 5 quarters, without scoring a touchdown. And we'll see if that streak continues or if it ends. And I would think they'll score a touchdown at some point, but the Steelers are also the type of team to win a game without scoring a touchdown. We've seen them do that multiple times over the past few years. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. 10-3 Ravens lead. Steelers get it back on their own 17-yard line. So they're back from commercial here. Rodgers so far today is 9 of 12 for 51 yards. He's under center here to start the drive. And off play action, Rodgers rolling to his right. Throws downfield. That pass is incomplete off the hands of MVS. Should have been caught. And it's 2nd and 10. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, a longtime teammate of Rodgers from Green Bay as well. Can't quite hold on. So Rodgers in shotgun back to his left from the 17-yard line. 6:05 to go in the first half. Gainwell goes in motion, and Rodgers fakes it to Jaylen Warren, and now throws over the middle of that pass, also broken up, trying to get it to Adam Thielen right here, and brings up 3rd and 10. So 2 quick incompletions, and it's now 3rd and 10 here for the Steelers. So an empty backfield for Aaron Rodgers. 6 minutes to go in the first half. Rodgers pressured. Rodgers gets rid of it to the outside. It's low and incomplete. 3 straight incompletions and a quick 3 and out for the Steelers. The Ravens defense gets the ball right back to the offense as the teams trade 3 and outs. And they'll get it back with about 6 minutes to go in the first half. Rodgers to get that one out quick. Kyle Hamilton got pressure. But it ended up being low and incomplete. But 5:53 to go in the first half. Punt is away. Flag is down. And it's fair caught at the 31 by Deontay Wester. So we'll see what this flag is here. We got illegal motion against the Steelers. The Ravens want to make them re-kick, so back up 5 and punt it again. I guess it's because he backed up a couple steps. Not really sure what that would be. Or maybe that would put too many guys in the backfield. But the punt is away. Again. And it's pretty much the same thing. It'll be about a 4-yard difference from the 31 to the 35. So it ends up being a good penalty. It's the same thing if you take the penalty now or later. Or before you punt it and make them punt it again, or after the punt. Ends up being about a 5-yard difference. But 10-3, 5:40-ish to go in the first half. And the Ravens get it back up by 7. So 5:39 to go in the first half. Steelers offense still not really doing a whole ton. They've still got just 21 yards of offense. Oh, sorry, 51. Or what am I saying? They got 21 plays run. They've got 57 yards, 2.7 yards a play. It has not been anything too impressive. Alright, but we still have for them to come back from commercial. Ravens get it back. At about the 35. Their playoff chances were down to about 6% going into last week. Then they beat the Packers. The Steelers lost to the Browns. And that created this game to be a win or go home matchup for the AFC North. So from the 35 here, Jackson sorry, just bit my tongue. Here's a handoff. Henry up the middle. He's got space. Bounces off a defender. Breaks the tackle. Henry going inside Steeler territory. It's a 45-yard line and first down for the Steelers. Sorry, for the Ravens. 5:25 to go in the first half. But another good run for Derrick Henry. Over 100 yards rushing now in the first half alone. He's run it 14 times for 111 yards in this first half. Here's his 15th carry already. Up the middle, this time he's stuffed. Got maybe a yard, and it brings up second down. So 4:33 to go in the first half. Second and 9 here for the Ravens. Jackson looks to throw, gets rid of it. Quickly throws wide as Zay Flowers, incomplete. So it brings up 3rd and 9, 4:21 to go in the second quarter. So 3rd and 9 from the Steelers' 43-yard line. Lamar in shotgun back to his right. They bring Mark Andrews in motion. Jackson steps up. Going to try to run for a first down. Got a lot of space. Lamar first down and more at about the 23-yard line. And the Ravens move the sticks so the flag is down. This one might come back. And this one will come back. A hold against the Ravens. Backs them up 10. Wipes off a really nice run. They called against the center, Tyler Linderbaum. Man, a very slight grab right there. Yeah, that is a hold. Not a player you usually see holding calls go against. Tyler Linderbaum, but gets called for penalty right there. A screen for Zay Flowers on 3rd and 17. We've got some of the yards back, getting to the 43-yard line. But it is now 4th down for the Ravens. And an interesting decision right here. Would be a very long field goal if they want to try that. But it's going to be a punt here for the Ravens. So the punt team comes on for the second possession in a row, 3rd time overall. And the Steelers will get it back. So the punt is away. And this one is going to bounce inside the 20 at the 14 and then take a Ravens roll down to the 9-yard line. So a pretty good kick right there. Steelers backed up deep inside their own territory with 3:09 to go in the first half. Ravens still leading 10-3. Winner of this game obviously gets one more game at least. They play the Texans next week at home. But I mean, that is a tough matchup for either side. Because, I mean, you got this, neither offense being that great against a elite Texan defense. Rodgers needs to lead the charge like the Green Bay days. Yeah, I mean, he really needs to do something positive right here, because he has not done a whole ton. That has been good for the Steelers in this game. I mean, 3 incompletions on that last drive. Forced him to go 3 and out. So, I mean, I expect him to probably try to run the football a little bit here. And try to have the ball for more than like 30 seconds. Because their last drive was not very long. I'm going to pull it up right now. Easier to do on here. They've got it open already. The last drive was 31 seconds, because 3 straight incompletions is obviously going to stop the clock quite a bit. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. 7-point game. Was a 33-yard punt that got down at the 9-yard line. So they're back from commercial. It shows some of the missed opportunities for Rodgers. He had one downfield that made a bad throw. Then he had the one where Jonnu Smith, and then also the one where he couldn't run for the first down. So a 1st and 10, 3:09 to go in the first half. Rodgers under center. They go I formation. Here's a toss to the right side for Jaylen Warren. And Warren still on his feet. Nice run there for Warren up to the 24-yard line. About 15 yards and a first down for the Steelers. A nice run right there. See what happened when you run the ball? Yeah, you got 15 yards. It's a good start after throwing 3 straight incompletions in the last drive. A lot better than that. Warren's got 36 yards. Rodgers under center. Warren the back from the 23. Here's a throw to the outside for Valdez Scantling. Makes the catch, but he's swung down by Kyle Hamilton after a gain of a yard. I hope the Steelers score here. I mean, they got a long way to go, but a score here would definitely help because we really need to get the offense going. But we reached the 2-minute warning here. In the first half, a 10-3 Ravens lead. But the Steelers with the football. And a decent start to the drive so far in the battle for the AFC North. So far, it's been 16 yards in 2 plays. Really 15 yards in 1 play and then 1 yard the next. Steelers right now just 73 total yards. Ravens at 165. I hope we beat the Bears in the playoffs. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, Packers-Bears for the 3rd time. This time in Chicago. You guys have split the season series. That's going to be a pretty good one. But I mean, that is going to be a pretty good game. Even though it's a 2-7 game next week, and you would expect that to be one of the worst games. The they've played close games so far, so I mean, I think it'll be another close game. He's streaming Super Bowl 2, I forget. Yeah. I'm going to stream, right now I'm planning on streaming every playoff game. But I'll definitely stream the Super Bowl, yeah. It'll be the 2nd year I've streamed every playoff game. And it will be the 4th year? Maybe 5th year I streamed Super Bowl. Now I can't remember. Is it 4 or 5? I think this will be the 5th Super Bowl I've streamed. A long time spot to fill for their halftime show. That is the one thing that's tough about streaming Super Bowl. So you've got to figure out something to do during halftime. So second down here for the Steelers. Rodgers throws outside, knocked away and incomplete. Nate Wiggins with a nice play on the ball, and it brings up 3rd and 9. I remember last year at halftime it was tough to come up with something to say at halftime because the game was a blowout. So it was interesting. It's like PI. I mean, he's got the hand there, but he knocks the ball away, plays the ball. I think it's good, no call. 3rd and 9, Rodgers to throw. Steps up, rolling to his left. Rodgers on the run. He's going to run for a first down here. Okay, now why could Rodgers go run for 15 yards right here, but he couldn't run for 5 yards before? I'm not completely sure, but Rodgers moves the sticks with his legs, and he gets out of bounds and stops the clock with 1:46 to go. But a nice job there for Aaron Rodgers, moving the sticks with his legs. A gain of 20 on the scramble. Throws the outside here, caught by Adam Thielen, makes the guy miss, and dives down after getting about 7 or 8. All 3 timeouts too. That's true. Both teams all 3 timeouts. Clock running here down to 1:30 to go in the first half. 2nd and 3 for the Steelers. Rodgers in shotgun back to his right. Ravens bring 4. Rodgers sets up the screen for Gainwell. Gets a block on the outside. Gainwell has a first down, and he's down to the Ravens 37. 1:10 to go. Clock is running. Was taken down inbounds. And here the Steelers call their first timeout with 1:05 to go in the first half. But this has been a pretty good drive for the Steelers. Moving the football pretty effectively. 6 plays, 54 yards. So far they've taken 2:04 off the clock. Got 1:05 left in the first half. 2 timeouts for the Steelers, still all 3 for the Ravens. So Rodgers in shotgun. Gonna look to throw here. Rodgers throws over the middle. Caught by Austin for a first down. Down to the 24-yard line. Moves the sticks. 55 seconds left. Clock is running. Rodgers on this drive, 4 of 5 for 32 yards. Ravens show blitz right here. Rodgers in shotgun back to his left. The Ravens bring the blitz. Rodgers throws outside, but too far outside. And out of the reach of Calvin Austin, and it's incomplete. So 2nd and 10. 29 seconds left in the first half. Rodgers in shotgun, Gainwell to his left from the 24. Going to throw here. Throws the flat for Gainwell. And Gainwell makes the catch, and he's taken down inbounds here, so the clock will continue to run. Not a very smart play right there. Should have just gone out of bounds to stop the clock. But because he went down in bounds, the Steelers forced to use their 2nd timeout. So it's now 3rd and 1 for the Steelers. 1 timeout left. Ravens have all 3. Rodgers on the drive, 5 for 7 for 41 yards. This has been a pretty good drive. He's always been really good on 2-minute drives throughout his career. But a 3rd and 2. Third and 2 here for the Steelers. From the Ravens 16. Rodgers in shotgun back to his left. Rodgers looks to throw. Throws outside. Caught. Austin is not going to be able to get out of bounds. The clock continues, or that's actually MVS who makes the catch. But they're not able to get out of bounds. His forward progress got stopped first. So the Steelers forced to use their 3rd and final timeout with 15 seconds left. But that's big right there. Because now the Steelers are out of timeouts. And if you get taken down inbounds, the half could be over. Now, I mean, there is still a chance you take a couple shots at the end zone, you can score. And if you don't get it, it's incomplete. But 1st and goal here from the 10. I mean, you got Aaron Rodgers. You definitely knows how to manage these situations. Gonna look to throw here. Rodgers throws. End zone incomplete. Austin, the intended target. He wants a flag, but there is no flag, and it's 2nd and 10. Or sorry, 2nd and goal from the 10. 11 seconds to go. PI again. Yeah, I could have understood that one. So it brings up a 2nd goal, 11 seconds left. Rodgers looks to throw. Rodgers throws back to the end zone, just threw it away. And it's incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10 here. Sorry, 3rd and goal from the 10. With 7 seconds left. So 3rd and goal from the 10, 7 seconds left in the first half. Got to make sure this play doesn't take too long. And you're able to still be able to kick the field goal if it's incomplete right here. Rodgers to throw. Rodgers throws back to the end zone, incomplete. Flag is down though. They try to get it to Pat Freiermuth, but they're going to call pass interference against Kyle Hamilton in the back of the end zone. There's 2 seconds left on the clock. So now this gets really interesting for the Steelers. Because you got the ball on the 1-yard line because the foul occurred in the end zone. Yeah, that's the decision right now. Touchdown or field goal. They got the offense out there. I like the decision. You got to go for it right here. They got stopped on the sneak before, so they're not going to go sneak right here. Rodgers under center, and Gainwell is the back. From the 1-yard line, they bring Jonnu Smith in motion. Trying to draw him off sides right here. They bring Smith in motion again. They toss it. Gainwell to the left side, trying to turn the corner. Cuts back and did not get there. Kenneth Gainwell barely got back to the line of scrimmage. The Ravens defense gets a stop, and we hit the halftime with the Ravens up by 10-3. But a big play made by the Ravens defense. They stop him short. And we reach halftime. Alohi Gilman with a really nice play. Kyle Van Noy out there as well. So it stays 10-3 before halftime. And a pretty good drive for the Steelers, going from deep inside their own territory to deep inside the Ravens' territory. But ends with no points. But I still think that is the right decision to go for right there. Tomlin says he wanted to play to win right there in a winner go home game. You have to leave points in that drive. I mean, I understand the thinking, but I kind of like the decision to go for it. I mean, you're at the 1 yard line. You've only got one play, but I mean, I like to take the chance and see if you can get in right there. I mean, I could understand saying you have the 3 right here. You get the ball to start the second half, so you can definitely go. I can definitely go kick the field goal now, get 3 points, and then get some more points after the half. So, I mean, I understand that, but I kind of like the decision to get aggressive here and go for the touchdown right before the half. But I'm going to go take a quick break, use the bathroom, fill my water. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back. So we got a 10-3 Ravens lead at the half. A very defensive first half. I mean, one touchdown. Ravens moved the football a little bit, but Steelers' offense couldn't really get much going. I think it was the right decision to go for it, but it was just a bad play call. Yeah, I agree. I was thinking about that when I was upstairs, and I completely agree. I mean, you got to go for the points right there. It's a win or go home game, but the goal line toss never works, so I don't know why you would try it and think it's going to work this time. So, I do agree. I think it's the right decision to go for it, but the wrong play call. And, I mean, I know teams don't really run the ball a ton from the one. I think you probably should have thrown it right there. But, I don't know. I mean, could definitely have run a million different things, although I don't think a toss play from the goal line is one of them. But as far as an updated score prediction goes, I originally said the Ravens would get the win by a score of 23-17 maybe? I gotta check, I don't remember. Let's see. Took the Ravens, 23-17. And I'm gonna stick with the Ravens. I mean, they've looked pretty good. They moved the football effectively. They've played pretty well defensively. So I'll take the Ravens to get the win. And we'll go by a score of... I'll also give them 23. We'll go with 23-13 Ravens. But we'll go over some stats from the first half. Starting off for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, 4 for 6, 59 yards and a touchdown. Did not throw the ball much, because instead they ran the ball 19 times. 15 of them from Derrick Henry, and he ran for 122 yards. Lamar Jackson ran it 2 times for 7 yards. Keaton Mitchell ran it 1 time for 3 yards. And Rasheen Ali ran it 1 carry for 0 yards. Then receiving for the Ravens, Devontae Walker, 1 catch, 38 yards and a touchdown. Zay Flowers, 1 for 9. Mark Andrews, 1 for 6. And Isaiah Likely, 1 for 6. Then the Steelers were like the exact opposite. They barely ran the ball, threw the ball quite a bit. They have 8 run plays, 25 pass plays. Rodgers went 15 for 25, 98 yards. And on the ground for the Steelers, they ran it 8 times for 40 yards. Rodgers actually their leading rusher with half those yards, running it 1 time for 20 yards. Jaylen Warren ran it 3 times for 18 yards. Gainwell, 3 carries for 2 yards. And Connor Hayward, 1 carry for 0 yards. Then receiving for the Steelers, Kenneth Gainwell, 6 catches for 42 yards. Jaylen Warren, 3 for 18. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, 3 for 14. Calvin Austin, 1 for 13. Adam Thielen, 1 for 7. Scotty Miller, 1 for 4. And Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth, both 1 target but 0 catches. But Rodgers, 9 of his 15 completions have actually gone 2 running backs between Gainwell and Warren. Yeah, I'm going to look up the numbers right now, but I feel like every game I see the Steelers play, Kenneth Gainwell's got like 1,000 catches. And he actually does lead the team in catches. He's got 65. DK Metcalf leads receivers with 59, which definitely makes sense. But, I mean, 1, it makes sense because Rodgers has to rely on the check down at his older age. And 2, I mean, Gainwell's a pretty good pass catcher, so it makes sense to use a skill set to your advantage. But then some team stats from the first half. 10 first downs for the Steelers, 7 for the Ravens. Steelers went 4 for 8 on 3rd down. Ravens went 2 for 7. Ravens also went 1 for 1 on 4th down. That was the play they scored a touchdown on. The Steelers did not convert their only 4th down attempt. They're 0 for 1. Ravens outgaining the Steelers 165 to 138. Ravens at 5.9 yards per play. Steelers at 4.1. But the Steelers more passing yards, Ravens more rushing yards. Penalties, 6 penalties, 68 yards against the Ravens at 3 for 30 against the Steelers. No turnovers in the first half, and time possession 16:53 for the Ravens, 1307 for the Steelers. But I mean, if you're the Steelers, you got to find a way to slow down Derrick Henry in the run game. Make them throw the ball. So I'm not saying they can't throw the ball. They just haven't done it much. So I mean, make them throw the ball. You got to find a way to stop Derrick Henry, who's run the ball for well over 100 yards so far in the half. But Derrick Henry, he's been insane to end the season for the Ravens. Obviously, ran for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns last week. Then, I'm going to pull up the numbers right now, but he's been ridiculous over the last several weeks. He's third in the NFL in rushing yards, 1,469, second in touchdowns with 16. But Henry, last week he ran for 216 and 4 touchdowns. The week before, 128 and 2 touchdowns. The week before that was 100. The week before that was 94. But 3 straight 100-yard games for Derrick Henry. The Steelers get the ball first to start the second half, and Jaylen Warren on the kick return brings it back to roughly the 35-yard line. So, solid starting field position for the Steelers. But let's see what the Steelers offense can do to start the second half. A decent drive to end the first half, but outside of that, not too much offensively. For the Ravens, they're 5-1 when leading at halftime this season. I believe their one loss was against the Patriots a few weeks ago on Sunday night. So 1st and 10 from the 33 for the Steelers. Rodgers under center, Warren is the back. And here's a toss, Warren to the right or left side, and Jaylen Warren a nice run, gaining 9 yards. A pretty good run. Steelers didn't run the ball much, but had a couple nice runs on their or in the first half. Rodgers, he's gone 6 straight quarters without an offensive touchdown. That's the longest streak of his career. They didn't score a touchdown in the first half or in the game at all last week against the Browns. 9 points in the last 6 quarters combined. Rodgers, hands off, Warren, up the middle. This time not as much space, but he'll get 2. He'll get pushed for a 3rd yard, but he'll gain 3 now and a first down. Jaylen Warren ran it 5 times for 30 yards so far. Got a pretty solid duo with Warren and Gainwell. Gainwell's got 44 total yards, Warren probably about 50. Now maybe less. He's got 30 rushing. No, I think he had a good catch and run, so he's probably got about 50. But a first down here, Rodgers to throw. Pressured, steps up, throws over the middle, incomplete. Adam Thielen, the intended receiver, wanted a flag, but there's no flag and it's incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10. So 2nd and 10, after the first down, incompletion, an empty backfield for Aaron Rodgers. Gonna look to throw, and throw over the middle of that pass, a dangerous throw, and incomplete. In a very tight coverage, and Kyle Hamilton is down in the field. Olave Gilman also in the stop. Looks like they collided with one another, and hopefully they're both okay. Oh, yeah. Little friendly fire right there. Hamilton got hit in the head by his teammate, Olave Gilman. Both actually from Notre Dame. I'm trying to remember if they played together or not. I don't think so. No, maybe they did. I gotta look that up now. If Kyle Hamilton and Olave Gilman played together at Notre Dame. Let's see. So Kyle Hamilton was at Notre Dame from uh, 2019 to 2021. Alohi Gilman was at Notre Dame. I think he was at Notre Dame during that span. Yeah, he's 4 years older than Hamilton. So that should mean they had... Gilman was probably a senior when Kyle Hamilton was a freshman. So Alohi Gilman, he was in 2019. Yeah, they had... Exactly. I mean, Gilman actually left after he was a junior. No, the senior, because he didn't play at all in 2017, because he had to sit out because he transferred. But he was a senior when Hamilton was a freshman. That's exactly what happened. So they were teammates at Notre Dame, and now they're teammates in Baltimore once again. But wait for them to come back from commercial. Hopefully Kyle Hamilton's okay. Never want to see a player get hurt, but especially somebody like Kyle Hamilton, who's one of the better defensive players in the NFL. And that could be a big loss for the Ravens defense if he can't play the rest of this game or potentially next week in a playoff game. So hopefully he's okay. Oh, we got the wild card schedule. I didn't realize we got that. Let's check that out. So we got 2 games Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. Let's see. So Saturday we've got, or I'll get back to that in a second. Rodgers throwing up the seam, called for a first down. Nice throw and catch. Finds Pat Frying with his first catch. And a first down there on 3rd and long. So Saturday we've got the Rams at the Panthers at 4:30, and we got Bears and Packers Saturday night at 8 on Prime. Then Sunday at 1 we got Bills Jaguars. Well, that's gonna be such a good first round game. Then Sunday at 4:30 we got 49ers Eagles, and then Sunday night is Chargers Patriots. And then Monday night is the winner of this game against the Texans. But a first down here for the Steelers, a toss to the left side. To the 40 for gain of about a yard. It was actually Jonnu Smith with the carry right there. Some good football coming up, yeah, for sure. Got some great games in the NFL next week. Obviously, it is the playoffs, that's what you expect. Rodgers takes a shot down the field here. That is call. Oh, what a throw by Rodgers. Adam Thielen down to the 13-yard line. What a throw and catch. A perfectly thrown ball by Aaron Rodgers and a first down for the Steelers. As they get inside the red zone. Down about the 13. And that's a perfect throw. There's Rodgers with the throw that we know and love. Yeah, that was a great throw. Puts the ball on the 11-yard line, and they go to the ground here. Warren up the middle for again about 3, maybe 4. Yeah, you cannot put that one any better. Perfect throw. So 2nd and 6 here for the Steelers, inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Rodgers in shotgun, back to his right. Ben Skowronek goes in motion. Rodgers, pump fakes. Rodgers checks down Warren in the flat, makes the guy miss. Warren cutting inside, still on his feet, and he's down at the 3-yard line. Bring up 3rd and 2. And a huge play upcoming right here for both sides. If you're the Steelers, really going to get in the end zone on this drive. They actually had 6 linemen out in the field right there. But it's been a 6-play, 65-yard drive, 5:05 off the clock for the Steelers. 3rd and short, Rodgers in shotgun, Warren to his right. Rodgers hands off, Warren up the middle, not even close. Stop pretty much at the line of scrimmage. And it brings up 4th and short. So another 4th down decision here for Mike Tomlin. So 4th and short. Looks like they might go quarterback sneak. Cam Hayward's on the field. Connor Hayward's on the field. It will be a sneak. Hayward under center. And let's see. I think he got that. He's close. They came up short before, but it looks like they got it, and they do. So they move the sticks, get it down to the 1-yard line, and convert on 4th down. They definitely moved the sticks this time, unlike the first time they ran that play. Same thing here. Hayward under center, going to try to sneak into the end zone, and, I don't know. A flag is down. This might be... Everyone might not have gotten set. Their call is a touchdown. So Hayward with a rushing touchdown. A flag is down, though. It's offside, so it doesn't matter. It is... The penalty is declined. The touchdown stands. And the Steelers finally snap a streak of 6 straight quarters without a touchdown. They get themselves on the board, or into the end zone for a touchdown, and they're an extra point away from tying the game up. Yep, he was definitely offsides as well. So the Steelers into the end zone, 12 plays, 67 yards. They take 6:37 off the clock. They go right down the field. Their best drive of the day by a lot. And here is Boswell to tie it up at 10 with the extra point. And his kick is good. So 10-10, we're tied with 8:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. In a winner-go-home matchup. Here in Week 18. So they would be up 3. Take the points in playoff football, period. Yeah, I mean, that is one way of looking at it. But they're able to tie it up here. Their best drive, they go right down the field, get in the end zone for the first time today. And on back-to-back quarterback sneaks, Hayward picks up the 4th down. And then is into the end zone for a touchdown as well. For Connor Hayward, that's his second rushing score of the season. He also had one, I believe, against the Dolphins. It was actually another game I streamed. Yeah, against the Dolphins. He had 4 carries for 4 yards and a touchdown in that game. I thought I remembered watching that on a stream one time. But wait for them to come back from commercial. Ravens will get it back with the game now tied at 10. First time it's been tied since it was 0-0 early in the game. Ravens have led the majority of the game, but now tied, and we'll have to see how they respond. So we got 8:22 to go in the third quarter. Game tied at 10 here. Ravens get it back. So the kick is going to be brought back here from the 5-yard line. And he's taken down at the 33. So the offense back on the field for the Ravens. And the Ravens going to start the drive, the handoff to Henry, and he goes nowhere. Stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Brings up 2nd and 10 with 8:05 to go in the third quarter. So 2nd and 9. Jackson in shotgun back to his left. Mark Andrews motions inside. Play clock at 5. They'll get the play off. Jackson gonna look to throw. Jackson pressure. Pocket collapsing. Got to throw off. He spiked it straight into the ground. And it's now 3rd and 9. So the pass is incomplete. And it's a quick 3rd down here for the Ravens. Oh, Jalen Ramsey down on the field for the Steelers. That could be bad. Hopefully he's okay. Cam Hayward pressure and a hit on Lamar Jackson right there, forcing the incompletion. Well, Jalen Ramsey is fully walking off the field. Hopefully he's okay. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler in his 10th year, a 3-time first-team All-Pro. Also a Super Bowl 56 champion with the Rams, when they beat the Bengals in Super Bowl 56, obviously. So 3rd and 9 from the 35. Jackson in shotgun back to his left. 7:31 to go in the third quarter. Isaiah Likely goes in motion. Lamar looks to throw. Lamar throws, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Oh, it's actually got intercepted. Wait a minute, did that just get picked off the deflection? Wow, TJ Watt comes away with the interception off the deflection, and the Steelers take over deep inside Raven territory. Wow, that's not something you see every day. It got knocked down at the line, and it got batted right into the arms of TJ Watt. Wow. That is crazy. It gets deflected straight to him. It's a turnover for the Ravens and the Steelers with all the momentum right now. The offense scores a touchdown, the defense gets a turnover, and they got it right back. So it's the game's first turnover and could be big, especially if the Steelers can put this one in the end zone. Rodgers, off-play action, throws the flat for Jaylen Warren. Makes the guy miss, cutting inside, and Warren takes a big hit. And he picks up 9. Jaylen Warren, 66 total yards. It's now 2nd and 1. Rodgers under center. Warren in the back from the 17-yard line. He'll hand it off here. Warren up the middle, makes a cut, and gains 2 and a first down. We got an injury update on Kyle Hamilton. Took a hit to the head from his own teammate before. He's being evaluated for concussion. And he also got carted at the locker room. Hopefully he's okay. So Rodgers under center. And another run play here for Jaylen Warren. Up the middle, Warren fights through contact and gains about 7 on the play. Getting inside of the 10-yard line down to the 8. Brings up 2nd and about 3. Jaylen Warren has 75 total yards. Rodgers under center. Thielen goes in motion. 2nd and 3 from a little inside the 10. Another run play. Warren, this time not as much contact near the line of scrimmage. Will fight through it and gain about a yard, maybe 2. So it brings up 3rd down here for the Steelers. 5:05 to go in the third quarter. This one marked a 3rd and 2. Third and 2 from the 7. Rodgers in shotgun back to his left. Play clock at 5. And we got a timeout here called by the Steelers with the play clock winding down. They call a timeout before this 3rd down. With 4:37 to go in the third quarter. So 3rd and short. Another big play right here. So 4:37 to go. Steelers looking to take advantage off the interception. Rodgers in shotgun back to his left. Again, play clock winding down. Rodgers looks to throw. 3-man rush. Rodgers throws. End zone incomplete, too high for Pat Freiermuth, and it's 4th down. So it brings up 4th and 2. And you got to settle for 3 right here, right? Take the points and go on top, 13-10. So it is a field goal try here. Boswell, right down the middle from 25 yards. And it's now 13-10. The Steelers, they lead for the first time. So 4:28 to go in the third quarter. The Steelers not able to get a touchdown off the turnover, but able to get points. And they lead for the first time today. It's now 13-10. But all the momentum on the side of the Steelers right now. But we wait for them to come back from commercial. 4:28 to go in the third quarter. Ravens will get it back. The offense really hasn't done much over the past few drives. Obviously, the interception on the last drive. A punt before that, a 3-and-out before that. And before that, they moved the ball a little bit, but they kicked a field goal. That was after the turnover on downs for the Steelers. But after the first drive, they went 8 plays, 85 yards. Really not much. The first drive, 85 yards. And since then, they are at 80 yards. They averaged 10.625 yards per play on their first drive. Since then, it has been, let's see. Let's do some math. It has been just 3.5 yards a play, which obviously isn't great. But they're back from commercial. The Ravens will get it back down by 3. Derrick Henry today, 16 carries, 112 yards. He's also on his birthday. And the return here brought back to just the 23-yard line. So a pretty good job covering the kickoff right there by the Steelers. So the Ravens offense back onto the field. So what happened here? Not exactly sure. A bunch of players were crowded around the refs. Was there a fumble at the end of the return here? Yeah, the ball did come out, but his knee was down first. So the Ravens with the football, they hand it off. Henry straight ahead, about 3 yards. To the 26-yard line. Brings up 2nd and 7. Derrick Henry in the first quarter, 10 carries, 79 yards. But since then, he's running 7 times for just 35 yards. I mean, that's still 5 yards a carry, which is very good, although it just is not quite as good as the first quarter, which was just insane. He gets it again here, and here's got some space. Breaks a tackle, has a first down, gains 9. So there's a positive run for Derrick Henry as they move the sticks. So from the 34 here, another run play. This time Keaton Mitchell gets it on the toss to the left, and he goes nowhere. Lost a yard on the play. Alex Highsmith in on the tackle for loss and brings up 2nd and 11. So it brings up 2nd and 11 here. The Ravens have just 10 yards here in the second half. Steelers of 86. Jackson in shotgun, Henry to his right. And we got play blown dead. A false start against the Ravens. It'll be against right tackle Roger Rosegarten. Oh, never mind. It's actually on a receiver. They called on Devontae Walker, the guy who scored the touchdown before. So it backs him up 5 for a 2nd and 16. Just what they need. An offense 30, struggling to move the ball here in this half. Getting backed up by penalty as well. They have just 1 first down in the second half. Steelers have 6. And the Ravens have had the ball for 3 minutes here in the second half. The Steelers have had the ball for nearly 10. 9:34 to be exact. So Jackson in shotgun going to look to throw. Plenty of time. And he's got that one tipped at the line of scrimmage and it's incomplete. Just trying to jump it off to Derrick Henry in the flat on the check down. But it brings up 3rd and 16. So 3rd and 16. The Ravens are 2 for 8 on 3rd down today, averaging 9 yards to go. This is a 3rd and long. Lamar in shotgun back to his left from his own 28, who'll look to throw. Plenty of time. Jackson underneath, caught by Andrews, but he's going to be well short of a first down. He gets taken down at the 37-yard line, but about 8 yards short of what he needed. And it's 4th down, and another punt here for the Ravens. Ravens offense really has not done much. They had that one good touchdown drive, but since then hasn't been very pretty. So 1:25 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Steelers will get it back on 4th and 8. So the punt is away. Steelers come after it. It's away Quinley. And Calvin Austin lets it go over his head, and it bounces inside the 10-yard line, and he's going to be down at the 12. Took a little bit of a Steeler bounce. But the Steelers still backed up pretty deep inside their own territory. As they take over up 3 with 1:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. So 13-10, and the offense playing pretty well. So we will have to see if that continues, or if the Ravens defense can get a stop. But the Steelers, they've moved the ball very effectively over the past few drives. In this half, and even going back to the end of the first half, on that 2-minute drive, they moved the ball very well. But since then, the Steelers, they've gone 13 plays, 89 yards, 12 plays, 67 yards, and 6 plays, 19 yards. In a drive where they failed to score before halftime, then scored a touchdown and kicked a field goal. But that is... 175 yards over the last 3 drives combined. 175 of their 224 total yards. So without those 3 most recent drives, they'd have just 49 yards on the day. But it's been a much better performance for the offense for the Steelers recently. We'll see if they can keep that up. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Ball on their own 19-yard line. Alright, so now they're back from commercial. Winner of this game obviously faces the Texans next week at home in the playoffs. So Rodgers in shotgun, back to his left. And Rodgers hands off Gainwell to the right side. And Kenneth Gainwell was out of bounds after pick up a 5. Now we're under a minute to go in the third quarter. So 2nd and 4, Rodgers in shotgun, Gainwell to his right. Potentially the final play of the third quarter. Rodgers set the screen here for Freiermuth, and he'll gain 6 and a first down. And that will take us to the fourth quarter. So 13-10, the Steelers lead going to the fourth quarter, with the winner going to the playoffs to play the Texans next week. So 13-10. Steelers up by 3. But we got one more quarter left in the 2025 regular season. The Steelers up 3. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial, entering the final quarter. The Ravens have still only thrown the ball 10 times today. Lamar Jackson's 5 of 10 for 67 yards, touchdown and an interception. While the Ravens, they've run it 23 times. But they also just haven't run a ton of plays. They've run 36 plays. The Steelers have run 53. A big problem is most of their yards came on the first drive, over half actually. And now they haven't really been able to put together consistent, sustained drives, so they've been punting like every time. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Former Cincinnati quarterback Brendan Sorsby is committed to Texas Tech. He's transferring there. That's pretty interesting. Texas Tech, that's a pretty big get. Sorsby, a great player. He was apparently the number one player in the portal, according to a lot of people. But, I mean, I know Texas Tech had a great year this year. Quarterback kind of held them back in the playoff. We'll have to see how Sorsby impacts them next year. Although I do think they're actually losing a lot of talent, so interested to see how they reload and how they look next year with probably an upgraded quarterback, but potentially losing some key players the rest of the roster. But we start the fourth quarter here, a throw to the outside for a gain of about 5 yards. Scotty Miller makes the catch. And a 5 yards pick up on the screen. Should be a good fourth. Yeah, it really should be. 3-point game. Playoffs on the line. Should be entertaining. Here's the throw to the outside for Gainwell. Gain of 5, but a flag is down. We got offensive pass interference. That'll wipe off the first down and back him up 10. Or is it 15? I think it's 10. Yeah, it's a 10-yard penalty. We'll back him up. And it's the fourth penalty against the Steelers for 40 yards. Ravens 7 for 73 against them. So empty backfield for Rodgers. Look to throw. Throw to the outside for Gainwell. Makes the catch. And Gainwell picks up about 7 yards. Getting to the 26. Brings up third down for the Steelers. 3rd and 8 to be exact. Steelers had the ball for over 12 minutes here in the second half. Ravens just 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Rodgers to throw on third down. Throws that is going to be called for a first down. Calvin Austin, a gain of about 14. Sorry, that's actually Marquez Valdes-Scantling with the catch. And a nice play there for MVS and a first down. That throw a little bit behind him, but able to make the catch. He's got 4 catches for 27 yards. Rodgers thrown for 186. 23 of 36 passing. Rodgers play action, looks to throw here. Rodgers launches one deep downfield, and that pass incomplete. Looking for MVS once again. Malachi Starks had a chance to pick that off, and looks a little disappointed he didn't. Definitely could have gotten picked. Yeah, just out of his reach of potential interception for the rookie Malachi Starks. Here's a handoff. Jaylen Warren to the left side. Warren gets a block and gains 4 on the second down carry. 12:15 to go in the fourth quarter. So 12 minutes left, 3rd and 7. So Rodgers in shotgun back to his left. Rodgers looks to throw. Rodgers pressured. Still on his feet. Rodgers, now he goes down. Back at the 38-yard line. Rodgers goes down on 3rd down. And the Ravens defense gets a stop and get the ball right back. But boy, did they need that. The defense has been on the field for a long time in the second half. Almost the entire half at this point. But they pressure Rodgers, sack him on 3rd down. And now, they'll get the ball back to the offense. And for the Ravens, you really need the offense to start doing something. Sustain a drive, control the clock for a little bit, and give the defense a break. The second sack of the day for the Ravens defense. So Waitman punts it away. And Wester is going to get run into. And wait a minute, is this muffed? The Steelers come up with it. Jack Sawyer, the Ohio State rookie, has it. And he's into the end zone. Now you can advance a muffed punt. So if it is a muffed punt, it would go back to where the Steelers recovered. But I think 2 Ravens ran into one another. Yeah, 2 Ravens run into one another. Well, I mean, one guy actually gets pushed into the other guy. But the ball never bounces off a Raven, so it should still be Ravens football at the 29-yard line where Jack Sawyer touches it. That was a weird play, but it should be Raven football at the 29. I think that's what they called, but I'm not sure. Now, not being able to advance a muffed punt is one of the dumbest rules in the NFL. I mean, why can you not advance a muffed punt? Or an onside kick for that matter, too. Yeah, they do rule Raven football at the 29-yard line. But yeah, I don't like not being able to advance a muffed punt. Really makes no sense. Now, I mean, I guess you could say, I mean, the team who muffs the punt doesn't have a chance to really get a stop. But I mean, if you want them to not muff the punt, I mean, just catch the punt. But the Ravens get the ball back here. They're down by 3. And we'll see how they respond. And if the offense can get anything going this time. So they're back from commercial. A 3-point Steelers lead. Jackson under center. Henry is the back from the 29-yard line. Jackson going to look to throw. Jackson throws outside. That is caught. Zay Flowers to the 44-yard line. A nice start to drive about 15 yards and a first down. Just the 11th pass attempt of the day for Lamar Jackson. And we got injured Raven lineman down the field. I believe that's Andrew Voorhees, their left guard. So hopefully he's okay. We got 10:39 to go in the fourth quarter. 3-point lead for the Steelers. Winner obviously faces the Texans at home in the playoffs next week. Yeah, that is Andrew Voorhees. Former 7th round pick. Started every game at left guard this season. I remember he's a guy who should have been a lot higher than a 7th round pick, but fell because of an injury. I forgot what the injury was, but I think he tore his ACL like late in the year. So, teams didn't want to draft him, but the Ravens scooped him up in the 7th round. He's been great for him. So, 1st and 10 here for the Ravens. 10:33 to go. So Jackson in shotgun, Henry to his left. From the 44. They'll hand it off. Derrick Henry running to the right side. And he's knocked down for gain of 2. Brings up 2nd and 8. Not a whole ton of space to run for Derrick Henry. 10:05 to go in the fourth quarter. Derrick Henry in the second half, just 4 carries for 13 yards. Not much space to run. Definitely not compared to the first half. So 2nd down and 8. Lamar in shotgun, going to look to throw. Got a free rusher off the edge, going to step up and try to run. And Lamar gets hit hard, bounces off a defender, and gains 4 to midfield. So Lamar Jackson scrambles for 4 yards, and it brings up 3rd and 4 here from midfield. So Jackson in shotgun, Henry to his right. 9 minutes to go. Ball on exactly midfield. Jackson looks to throw. Pressure. Jackson escapes. Rolling to his left. Sets his feet. Launches one deep downfield. And it is called for a touchdown. Zay Flowers. Wow. What a play by Lamar Jackson. Able to escape 2 defenders in the backfield and deliver a touchdown downfield to Zay Flowers for 50 yards, and the Ravens back on top. Man, what a play. A 50-yard touchdown to Zay Flowers. 4 plays, 71 yards on the drive. And the Ravens retake the lead. He's got a free rusher off the edge. Somebody comes free from the interior of the defensive line as well. He's able to escape both and throw a great pass downfield to Zay Flowers. This is really nice. And Whoop adds the extra point and makes it a 4-point Ravens lead, 17-13. What a play by Lamar Jackson. They had the former Raven Patrick Queen matched up against him, which is a mismatch every day of the week, with a linebacker on a very shifty receiver like Zay Flowers. But that was a Much needed touchdown drive there for the Ravens. They finally got points, their first points of the half. It's their first points since their third offensive drive of the day. And it's a 50-yard touchdown from Jackson to Flowers. His 20th touchdown pass of the year. And Lamar's now thrown for 132 and 2 touchdowns. Also an interception. But they really needed that. They're back out front. Or back out in front. But we wait for them to come back from commercial. We'll see how the Steelers respond. It's their really first bad drive of the second half, really for either side of the ball. The defense had been playing really well. The offense moving the football. Even though they did punt on their last drive. But we'll see how they respond. Now down by 4 with the season on the line. 8:42 to go in the fourth quarter. But that was a really good touchdown for the Ravens. That's just a great play by Lamar Jackson. Hasn't had his best year, but battled injuries, but makes a really nice play right there. Alright, so they go back to the touchdown. I'm interested to see how Zay Flowers ends up matched up with Patrick Queen. So the safeties bail really far to the outside. And Patrick Queen just has to run with Zay Flowers because I could just leave him wide open. And obviously Zay Flowers easily able to outrun a linebacker. So the kickoff here is going to go out of bounds. So it'll be placed at the 40-yard line and good starting field position for the Steelers. And especially with a kicker like Chris Boswell, you've only got to go like 20 yards in your field goal range. Sometimes even 15. Getting to the 45, that'd be from 62. So, I mean, it's possible they can do it. Although, I mean, the field goal doesn't really do you a whole ton right here. Because you're down 4. So, apparently Rodgers hurt his hand on that last drive. He's been battling through a wrist injury. But he's back out in the field here. And he's fine. Or appears to be, at least. So 1st and 10 from the 40. Rodgers under center. Thielen in motion. He winds up in the slot right. Now he goes across the formation. Here's a throw to the outside for MVS. And he'll pick up about 7 yards. But I did not think that play was really going to be that successful because there was nobody blocked for him. But he ends up picking about 7 yards. The Ravens defense, when Kyle Hamilton's been on the field today, they've allowed 3 points and 3.9 yards per play. But without him, they've allowed 10 points and 5.2 yards per play. And they've obviously been without him for a while, considering he's being evaluated for a concussion. So 2nd and 3, 8:05 to go in the fourth quarter. Toss to Jaylen Warren to the right side. Warren breaks one tackle, still on his feet. Warren cutting back inside. Jaylen Warren, nice run inside Raven territory to the 37. What a run for Jaylen Warren in the first down. We reach 7:50 to go in the fourth quarter. I don't know if it's just me, or maybe I'm comparing this to last night's game, which was very quick, but this game feels like it's taking forever. There's still over half the fourth quarter to go, and it's already after 11. But maybe I'm just making things up, or comparing that to a game that like flew by last night. But the Ravens with an injured defender down the field, that's Nate Wiggins. So hopefully he's okay. So a little over half the fourth quarter to go in the game. In a game that decides the final playoff spot in the AFC. The winner of this game will face the Texans at home on Monday night next week in the playoffs. We got Rams, Panthers at 4:30, Bears and Packers at 8. Those are the Saturday games. Then Sunday we got the Bills and Jaguars at 1. We got the 49ers and Eagles at 4:30, Chargers, Patriots at 8:15, and then Texans against either Ravens or Steelers on Monday night. So it should be a pretty good game. But we still wait for them to come back from commercial. Hopefully Wiggins is okay. He was the injured player on that previous play. Couldn't really tell what he hurt. It was just kind of crouched over. But hopefully he's okay, regardless of what it is. Alright, here we go. Wiggins. He's trying to catch Warren. And he's one of the guys in on the tackle. And it doesn't seem like anything too unusual happens right there, but he is in some serious pain as he gets helped off the field. And hopefully he's okay, obviously. But the Steelers with the football on the Ravens at 38. Rodgers under center, Warren in the back. Jonnu Smith in motion. Here's a toss to the right side for Jaylen Warren. And Warren out of bounds after getting 4, maybe 5 on the play. $7:15 to go in the fourth quarter. Final 7 minutes of the regular season. In the 2025 season, that is, even though we're in 2026 now. 2nd and 6. Rodgers under center. I formation. Warren in the back from the 34. Play action here. Rodgers rolling left. Rodgers throws underneath for Connor Hayward. Makes the catch. He's 3rd of the season. And he picks up 3. Down the 31-yard line. With 3rd and 3, 6.5 minutes to go. Rodgers 25 of 39, 196 yards passing. So an empty backfield for Aaron Rodgers. They spread the field here on 3rd and short. From the 31-yard line. And we got a false start here. Rodgers went with the hard count to try to draw him offside, but the Steelers jump. And it backs him up. They call it against Kenneth Gainwell. We wind up a little off the line of scrimmage to the left side. Yeah, he knew it right away. The 5th Steeler penalty for 45 yards. 8 penalties, 73 yards against the Ravens. So after the penalty, it's now 3rd and 8, 6:08 to go in the fourth quarter. Rodgers looks to throw. Rodgers throws over the middle. Caught! Freiermuth inside the 10 down to the 6-yard line. A big throw and catch for Rodgers, the tight end Freiermuth, and a 1st and goal for the Steelers. 6 minutes to go. Steelers, we're going to go quick, but now they huddle up and slow things down. So 1st and goal, 5.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Rodgers going to call a timeout here with the play clock winding down. Put him in that drive, or that play. They wanted to get on the ball quick to catch the Ravens subbing. But then they huddled up, and by the time they got back to the line, it was too late and they had to call timeout. They showed that play again. That was a nice throw from Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, 26 for 40, 227 yards. So 5:19 to go in the 4th, 1st and goal Steelers. Down by 4. Touchdown here would be huge. The ball's on the 5-yard line. Rodgers in shotgun back to his left. Rodgers hands off. Warren up the middle. And he'll get down to about the 4. Gain of a yard. But that's it. Brings up 2nd goal. 5 minutes to go. Touchdown here would go a long way. I mean, not possible. It's not impossible the Ravens could score again, because they definitely can. But it's now 2nd and goal. Down to 4:40 to go. Rodgers in shotgun, going to look to throw. Design roll to his right. Throw to the flat. It's caught by Jonnu Smith, but he's short. Got down to the 2-yard line. Half of what they needed right there. From the 4 to the 2. And it brings up 3rd and goal. Rodgers wanted a new helmet. Because they're having problems getting the play in. So he had to go over to the sideline to get the play from Arthur Smith. So 3rd and goal from the 2. And another timeout call by the Steelers. That's the 3rd and final timeout. They're having all kinds of communication issues. That's now 2 timeouts they've had to use right here. Because Rodgers can't hear the play. Can't read his lips right there. See what he says. It says something how he can't hear the play. But the Steelers, after those 2 timeouts, out of timeouts. So not really what you want to use right there. But 3rd and goal from the 2. Huge play right here. Rodgers. Hands off. Gainwell to the right side. Turns the corner. Touchdown Steelers. Kenneth Gainwell, a 2-yard rushing touchdown. And the Steelers retake the lead. A huge touchdown by Kenneth Gainwell. They go 8 plays, 60 yards right down the field. And they're an extra point away from going up by 3. 4:53 off the clock on the drive. A really nice one there for the Steelers. They respond with the Ravens touchdown. And they're now about to be up by 3. Boswell's extra point right down the middle. 20-17. Steelers up. Whoa. That'd be a lot of points. Steelers up 3. 120. Or sorry. What am I saying? I had 120 up before. But it's now 20-17. But 20-17, Steelers lead with under 4 minutes to go. .349 to go. Steelers are out of timeouts. Ravens with 3. A 3-point lead for the Steelers. So Boswell going to kick off right here. And the kick is away. Gets brought back from at the 8-yard line. And on the return, trying to keep his balance, he's stopped at the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. So 1st and 10 here for the Ravens. 3:43 to go, down by 3, needing points here with the season on the line. So from their own 27, Lamar in shotgun, Henry to his left. Lamar hands off, Henry up the middle, stuffed at the line of scrimmage, no gain. Maybe got a yard because he fell forward. Down to 3.5 minutes to go. Last drive for the Ravens went 4 plays, 71 yards. They scored a touchdown. This is 2nd and 9, 3:10 to go. This could be the final drive of the game, with the clock still running. Jackson makes a check at the line, Henry to his right. 2nd and 9, play action. Jackson looks to throw, has time, throws over the middle, caught by the fullback Ricard. Ricard's the Vikings kicker. Ricard makes the catch right there, a gain of 9. And a 1st down. So we got 2:34 to go. They actually marked him a little short. They originally ruled 1st down, but replay assist says he's short. So 3rd and half a yard here for the Ravens. Lamar in shotgun, fakes the toss right, looks to throw. Lamar throws deep downfield, wide open receiver, Zay Flowers inside the 20. He will score for the 2nd time, but there is a flag down. If it stands, it is a huge touchdown for the Ravens. But this one might get called back. Let's see, there's 2:20 to go. The Ravens think it's against the Steelers. And it is. It's defensive holding. The penalties declined Flowers with his second long touchdown, and the Ravens retake the lead. Well, what a response for the Ravens. Their previous drive, 4 plays, 71 yards. This time they go 3 plays, 73 yards. And the second time, Zay Flowers with a long touchdown. So 2:20 to go. Ravens about to go up by 4 after the extra point. So the extra point right down the middle. 24-20, Ravens lead. We got 2:20 to go. But now let's see how the Steelers respond. Man, Zay Flowers was so open. They fake the toss to the right, so everyone starts flowing to the right side. And then Flowers just sneaks back across the field on a crossing route. And nobody follows with him. He ends up wide open, and it's a very easy touchdown. Man, that was a huge touchdown. It's the third touchdown pass today for Lamar Jackson. Second one to Zay Flowers. So now the Steelers get it back down by 4 out of timeouts with 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. The kick goes into the end zone for a touchback and will be brought back out to the 35. So Rodgers and the Steelers offense just scored on their last drive. Need another touchdown right here. Rodgers, very experienced in his 21st year, has 36 career game-winning drives in the fourth quarter. Third most among active players. I actually thought he had more. But apparently not. But we'll see if Rodgers can do it again. He's so good in these 2-minute drill situations. The Steelers, they had a great drive at the end of the first half in a very similar situation. That drive, they didn't come away with points in. But let's see what they do here. They're out of timeouts, by the way. Rodgers throws over the middle, caught by Austin, spins away from a defender, and gets one play, and they're inside Raven territory. To the 48-yard line, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. So we got 2 minutes left in this game. 24-20, Ravens lead. Winner wins the North and goes to the playoffs. We got 2 minutes left in the regular season. And potentially 2 minutes left in the final game for Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, we don't know yet. Hasn't really said a decision one way or another. So 1st and 10 here, 2 minutes to go. Steelers are out of timeouts, Ravens with all 3. So let's see what Rodgers and the Steelers offense can do here. Steelers need a touchdown being down 4. Rodgers throws outside. It is caught by Thielen, and he's out of bounds, and the clock's going to continue to run. He did not go try to continue to gain yards going out of bounds. The clock continues to run. Down to a minute 45 to go. It's a second down here for the Steelers. Rodgers in shotgun back to his right. Rodgers looks to throw. Screen for Gainwell. Gets away from one defender. Gainwell still inbounds, and he's taken down inbounds again. So the clock will continue to run. 1:25 and counting. Clock now down to 1:13 from the Ravens 26. Rodgers looks to throw. Pump fakes and just throws it away. Over the head of Gainwell in the flat. Stops the clock with a minute 3 to go. So 1:03 to go, 2nd and 10 here for the Steelers. So Rodgers, empty backfield, they motion Gainwell as a receiver in the slot to the left. Rodgers throws incomplete, trying to get to Thielen on the slant, but brings up 3rd and 10. Steelers wanted the flag right there. We're down to a minute to go. Let's see here. He's looking for Thielen on the slant. No, there's no reason for a flag right there. So 3rd and 10. Rodgers gonna take a shot downside and wide open. Austin touchdown. Wow. Calvin Austin wide open. And the Steelers retake the lead. Another lead change here in the 4th quarter. They go 6 plays, 65 yards in a minute 25. And they're about to be up by 3 with 55 seconds left. He was wide open. Wow. Another great drive for the Steelers offense. They've been so much better here in the second half after 3 points in the first. So here's Boswell to add the extra point and put him up by 3. Hold on. This froze for a second. Let's get that back. I assume the extra point's good because it's Chris Boswell. But to go back to this right here, I'm not sure what exact... Oh, he stumbles. The corner trips. Allows Austin to get behind him. And it's now a 27-24. Wait a minute, did he miss that? Wait a minute, he missed the extra point? Of course, the one time the stream freezes, Boswell misses the extra point. I literally just said, I'm sure he made it because it's Chris Boswell. But he missed it. Holy cow. That is crazy. I did not expect that. Sorry about that. I missed that. But that is a huge miss because it is now just a 2-point game. 26-24. So the Ravens, instead of tying it with a field goal, they can win it with a field goal. And they still got 55 seconds and all 3 timeouts. But going to be returned here from the 5. Keaton Mitchell crosses to 30. Mitchell across to 40. Keaton Mitchell, great return to the 47-yard line. What a return for Keaton Mitchell. Sets the Ravens up with great starting field position. They're set up their own 47 with 47 seconds left and all 3 timeouts. So it's first down here for the Ravens. Jackson in shotgun, back to his right. Jackson throws outside. It is caught for a gain of 8 by Devontae Walker. Stopping the clock with 43 seconds left as he gets out of bounds. So it's 2nd and 2. They're already at the Steeler 45-yard line. Jackson in shotgun. They bring Andrews across the formation. Very quiet day from him. And they'll throw it to Andrews in the flat for a first down and a gain of 5, but a flag flies. If it stands, they'll have a first down at the I think the 40. It will not stand. Illegal formation. They call it against Ronnie Stanley, who was lined up too far back. So 2nd and 7. Jackson in shotgun, back to his left. They bring Likely in motion. Jackson looks to throw. Dancing around. Going to step up. And Jackson going to flip this out of bounds. DeAndre Hopkins was in the area. I think Lamar might have expected him to go up the field. That's the first time I've seen DeAndre Hopkins this entire game. Yeah, Lamar was definitely hoping to go upfield. So 3rd and 7. Jackson in shotgun, back to his right. 3 receivers to his right side as well. Steelers bring 4. Jackson pressured. Jackson escapes for now. Rolling right. Swung around. Just flings it out of bounds. And it brings up 4th down. So here it is. You got to have it. If you're the Steelers. Sorry. You got to have it if you're the Ravens. So 21 seconds left. Yes, the Ravens, they call a timeout right here before this play. I was just about to say, you might want to call a timeout if you're the Ravens. Just to make sure everyone's on the same page, you can get everything all how you want it with the season on the line right here. So it's 4th and 7, 21 seconds left in the 4th quarter. So 4th and 7 from midfield. Lamar in shotgun, back to his right. The motion Zay Flowers across the formation. Lamar going to look to throw. Steps up. First one deep downfield. It is caught by Likely. Wow, what a catch. Isaiah Likely at the 23-yard line. Wow, what a catch. And a timeout called by the Ravens with 12 seconds left. I have no idea how he caught that pass. Isaiah Likely at the 22-yard line makes the play. Man, what a catch. Right in front of Jalen Ramsey. Let's go knock that away. But a huge play there on 4th down. to keep their season alive. Yeah, in field goal range already, too. So now that missed extra point is huge. Play for the field goal. Yeah, I mean, might keep it safe here. Oh, one play, then field goal. Yeah. You got one timeout. Just get it where your kicker wants it. That's the left hash, right hash, or wherever. They'll center it right here. Lose 2. And the Ravens can let this wind down and call a timeout. So there's the timeout for John Harbaugh with 2 seconds left. And the AFC North going to come down to a field goal. So Boswell's missed extra point could end up costing the Steelers for the season. Their kicker 1 for 1, made from 40 yards away. This one is probably somewhere in that same range. Alright, so here we go. It's a 44-yard field goal to win the division and send the Ravens to the playoffs with 2 seconds left. Centered in the field. And the kick is... No, he missed it! He missed it wide to the right. And the Steelers win the North and go to the playoffs. Wow. He pushed it right. And the Steelers win it 26-24. No good from 44. And the Steelers hold on for the win. It did not look likely. But they get it likely because he caught that pass. But it did not look likely. But they end up with the win and they're going to the playoffs. They'll host the Texans next week. Wow. What a fourth quarter. This game was pretty boring for the first 3 quarters, but man, that fourth quarter was pretty entertaining. Roger's heart can't take that type of suspense. Yeah, he's getting old now. But wow, how about that? A missed field goal. A missed extra point almost cost the Steelers. But a missed 44-yard field goal ends up costing the Ravens. So they finish 8-9 and miss the playoffs. The Steelers go 10-7 and win the division. So the Ravens season is over. And the Steelers headed to the postseason. You were on your knees. That's crazy. Yeah, it was a crazy finish. Uh, 42 and he knows exactly what to do. Save Tom and his coaching job. Yeah, very possibly. There's been rumors that the loser of this game could get fired. I mean, we'll have to see if that's true. And if the Ravens do fire John Harbaugh or not. But that will be something to keep an eye on over the next few days. Boswell's one lucky guy. Yeah, he sure is. I mean, of all times, for one of the best kickers in the NFL, of all times for him to miss, he misses then. With the potential with the season on the line. But then the Ravens miss a walk-off field goal to go to the playoffs. Well, what a finish. Ravens need change every year is the same. Yeah, I mean, I can agree. I mean, I know John Harbaugh's been there a long time, but whether it's not finishing the job in the playoffs, blowing leads, I think it also might be time for a change in Baltimore. So I could agree with that. But Steelers fans would say like the exact same thing about Mike Tomlin. He can't win in the playoffs. He gets to barely over 500 every year, and then that's it. Which, I mean, you could also say the same thing. But, yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see if the Ravens end up making coaching change. Next stream will be... let's see, there's no Monday night game tomorrow. So next game is going to be Thursday for whatever playoff game's on Thursday for college. But yeah, next week, right now, the plan is to stream Thursday, Friday, Saturday, both NFL playoff games, Sunday, all three, and Monday nights. So we'll be quite busy. But the next stream will be on Thursday for Miami and Ole Miss. That's at 7:30. But, yeah, that's going to do it for this stream, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Final score, Steelers win and go to the playoffs 26-24. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for all the support. I have a lot of content on the way. Between playoff predictions for the NFL, for college, for the next round. Got a bunch of stuff on the way, so be sure to subscribe, turn notifications so you guys don't miss that. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next video.